What excites me about being here is the opportunities. Sort of like this is a blank canvas. In addition to the economic opportunities that exist here, this is a total change of government. And as I understand, this will be the first in Alabama, not the first city manager, but the first one apparently set up by some form of statutory law. So this is kind of a living laboratory for government in action. And that's pretty exciting to be on the leading edge of that. The majority of my life I was a soldier, and so soldiers don't have a time card or a 9-to-5 job. They do what they need to do, and sometimes that takes a few hours, and sometimes that takes a few years. I think that postures me well to serve as a city manager. I think that postures any good city manager to do is you're thoroughly involved in the community, and it can be some very long hours. A little history about myself and where I came from. My parents were both children of Appalachia and the Great Depression. My mother was literally born in a log cabin. And I tell you that in the context of, I think that sort of set the foundation for how I have one sister, how she and I were raised. Very Christian-based thing. Their parents were good Christian people. I had a very good upbringing, but one where there were, certain standards and a good amount of hard work. I spent every summer working on farms back with my grandparents. In terms of my relationships, short of your walk with the Lord, the family's there. My family had to probably put up with a little bit more. My immediate family, my spouse and my children. My spouse is a retired Army officer too. Pizza and hamburgers, junk food. Yeah, unfortunately, that's why I got to try to go to the gym as often as I can. But I do like a good pizza, Chicago pizza, thick. That's pretty good. My favorite movie probably is Patton, and if it's not Patton, there's a kind of an obscure movie out like 20 years ago, a foreign film called Das Boot, The Boat. Almost anything by Peter Drucker. And I don't know a lot of it's nonfiction. It is organizational. It's things on how it's probably more academic things, but Peter Drucker is kind of renowned in the field of organizational development. People who aren't risk takers, might be in the nature of running large city bases, those kind of things, is you're not going to grow unless you're willing to take some prudent risks. It is individuals who probably just get overly comfortable in doing the same thing the same way. I think we need to go back almost on a daily basis sometime. And that doesn't mean if it's not broken, it doesn't need to be fixed. Or break things that aren't broken and try to do them differently. But it does mean take some prudent risks. Look for opportunities to do things faster, better, cheaper. And I think a lot of times it's getting people to feel empowered to step outside their comfort zone. We have to trust each other. We have to be rock solid in our integrity. And we have to be able to tell things in the nature of this work and dealing with citizens and dealing with lots of money and public service. There are some things we're going to have to tell citizens that we can't do. The city can't be a panacea. We can't solve everyone's problems. It's not prepared to do that. And it's not the job of a city to do certain things. So being honest and open with people and sometimes telling them, that element and the notion of if you have bad news, it doesn't get better with time. Just go ahead and share it now, get it over with. Seems to me to be a good, not only quote, if you will, but a good operating policy. What I've seen so far in terms of what I like about Vestavia, or its greatest asset, seems to be the people that I've met so far. The second night we were moving in, a person just a couple doors down came over and said, "How can I help you?" cooked a dinner, brought the dinner in, offered to feed the movers who they don't know. So these are people that we've never met before. And then others from the area that I lived have rallied around. So you get that sense of a Southern hospitality, if you will.